Have you ever asked yourself if the one private habit almost every man has, the one we rarely admit out loud, could secretly be harming us? I know how unsettling that thought can be. For years, I believed the same whispers you've probably heard, that daily masturbation ruins the prostate, that it leads to inflammation, or even worse, raises the risk of cancer. Those fears spread fast, and it makes sense why. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men, and nobody wants to gamble with that. But here's the part almost nobody knows. The science doesn't confirm those fears at all. In fact, it points to the opposite. And what I'm about to share could completely change how you think about your body and your long-term health. Let's start with the star of this story, the prostate. Most men know the word, but don't really understand what it does until problems show up. Picture a walnut tucked just below your bladder, wrapped around the urethra like a tight ring on a straw. Its job sounds simple. It makes the fluid that powers and protects your sperm. But here's the catch for such a tiny gland. It can cause some of the biggest health fears in a man's life. You've heard the rumors. Guys whisper about it in locker rooms, forums, spin out horror stories, and late-night searches only fuel the panic. If you masturbate too much, you'll wear out your prostate. You'll inflame it, maybe even trigger cancer. Those words hit hard because they tap into a nightmare every man knows: prostate cancer. It's the second most common cancer in American men, claiming thousands of lives every year. And when something so personal, so tied to your masculinity, is linked to that kind of danger, the fear doesn't just sink in, it sticks. But here's where the ground begins to shift. For decades, those fears went unchallenged, treated like old moral warnings, dressed up as medical advice. Yet, science eventually stepped in, and when it did, the results didn't just question the myths, they crushed them. And if you thought the fears were intense, wait until you hear what researchers actually discovered, because the truth is the exact opposite of what you've been told. And that shocking twist takes us straight to one of the largest, most respected studies ever done on men's health, where scientists tracked tens of thousands of men for nearly 2 decades just to answer this very question. For years, those rumors spread unchecked. Nobody really tested them, so the fear kept growing. Then Harvard researchers stepped in, not with a small survey, but with one of the largest men's health studies ever done. They tracked nearly 32,000 men, not for months, not for a year, but for almost 2 decades. And they paid close attention to one surprising detail: how often these men ejaculated. When the results came back, they flipped the old story on its head. Men who ejaculated 21 or more times a month had up to a 33% lower risk of prostate cancer than those who only did it a few times. Think about that. What men were told could harm them was actually protecting them. And if that shock wasn't enough, just wait until you hear the 3 scientific theories that explain why this unexpected link is so powerful. So why would something as simple as frequent ejaculation protect the prostate? Scientists have 3 leading theories, and each one makes a lot of sense. The first is called the flushing hypothesis. Picture the ducts inside your prostate like tiny pipes. Over time, old cells and waste can build up. If they sit too long, they can trigger inflammation or even dangerous mutations. Regular ejaculation works like running clean water through a pipe. It flushes out the debris before it can cause trouble. The second theory looks at cell health. Every time cells divide, there's a chance for errors, mistakes in DNA that can lead to cancer. Frequent ejaculation seems to promote a faster turnover of old cells for fresh, healthy ones. It's like hitting the refresh button on your prostate, reducing the chance for damaged cells to take root. And then there's stress and inflammation. We know chronic inflammation is one of the body's silent killers, fueling countless diseases. Ejaculation isn't just physical. It relieves tension, lowers stress hormones, and helps calm that invisible fire. Less stress often means less inflammation, and that could be a major reason the prostate stays healthier. Put all three together, and the picture is good. This isn't some random coincidence. There are powerful biological reasons why more frequent release could equal better long-term protection. And if that sounds convincing, just wait, because the next part connects directly to what most men care about: the daily symptoms that interrupt your life, keep you up at night, and make you wonder if something's already wrong. Now let's bring this science closer to home, because for many men, the worry isn't just about cancer years down the road. It's about the frustrating symptoms you feel right now. You know the ones: waking up 2, 3, sometimes 5 times a night just to pee, standing over the toilet and feeling like your bladder never empties, fighting with a weak stream that makes you feel older than you are. These aren't just annoyances. They chip away at your confidence, your sleep, even your relationships. And if you felt them, you've probably wondered if your prostate is already in trouble. That thought alone can be terrifying. Here's where things get interesting. Some researchers describe these issues as a hidden clog, a kind of blockage deep in the prostate that slows everything down. And there's a growing buzz around an unusual Asian remedy, what some call a spring water juice, that targets that clog directly. Early reports suggest it can bring surprising relief, helping men reclaim stronger flow and quieter nights. Whether you choose to explore that or not, the bigger picture is clear. These symptoms are warning signs, but they don't mean you're doomed. There are proven lifestyle choices that can shift the odds in your favor and protect your prostate for the long run. And that's exactly where we're headed next, because the daily habits you build or ignore may be the difference between years of struggle and decades of strength. Science is powerful, but let's be real. Ejaculation alone isn't a magic bullet. It's one tool, not the whole toolbox. If you want to stack the odds in your favor, you've got to build the right lifestyle around it. Diet comes first. Studies show men who eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats have stronger prostate health. Tomatoes, watermelon, and grapefruit are loaded with lycopene, an antioxidant that's been linked to lower cancer risk. And here's a fun fact. Lycopene is absorbed better when cooked, so even a bowl of pasta with tomato sauce could be doing your prostate a favor. Add in omega-3 fatty acids from salmon or flaxseed and green tea for its anti-inflammatory kick, and you've got a daily shield built into your meals. Exercise is the second pillar. Obesity has been tied to more aggressive prostate problems, but just 30 minutes of moderate activity most days, walking, biking, ion lifting can cut that risk dramatically. Add some strength training and even Kegel exercises to keep your pelvic floor strong, and you're protecting both your health and your performance. And don't ignore the obvious. Smoking and heavy drinking. They're a double hit, bad for your heart, bad for your prostate. Cutting back here pays off faster than you think. But maybe the most critical piece is this screening. Nothing replaces a doctor's checkup. The PSA blood test and digital exam might not be glamorous, but they save lives by catching problems early. Think of it like regular maintenance on your car. Skip it, and the engine fails when you least expect it. Stack these habits together, and now you're not just, reacting to fear, you're actively writing your own health story. And that brings us full circle, because the original question we asked, what does daily masturbation do to your prostate, has a final shocking answer that ties all of this together. So let's bring everything we've talked about back to the question that started it all. What really happens to your prostate if you masturbate every day? For years, men were told it was dangerous, that it would inflame the prostate, damage the gland, or even raise the risk of cancer. But now, you know the truth. Large, credible studies, including the one from Harvard that followed over 30,000 men for nearly 2 decades, revealed the opposite. Frequent ejaculation wasn't harmful at all. It was linked to a lower risk of prostate cancer, with men who ejaculated more often showing up to a 33% reduction in risk compared to those who didn't. Add to that the biological reasons flushing out harmful cells, supporting healthy turnover and lowering stress, and the evidence points toward protection, not damage. But it's important to see the bigger picture. Ejaculation alone isn't a cure-all. It's one piece of a much larger health puzzle. A strong diet rich in lycopene, omega-3s, and antioxidants. Regular physical activity that keeps your body lean and your hormones balanced. Cutting back on smoking and alcohol. And most importantly, regular screenings with your doctor. These are the habits that will protect your prostate and your overall health for years to come. It's not about doing one thing perfectly. It's about building small, consistent steps into your daily life that add up to real change. And here's the part I don't want you to miss. Your health is not just about you. It's about the people who love you, the family and friends who depend on you, and the future you deserve to enjoy. Taking care of your prostate and your body as a whole means taking care of your confidence, your vitality, and your relationships. It's about protecting the best version of yourself, not just for today, but for decades ahead. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and move on. Take one step today. Maybe it's cooking a tomato-based meal, going for a walk after dinner, or finally scheduling that PSA test you've been putting off. Small choices become big results when you repeat them consistently. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It really helps more men see this message. And make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell, because I'll be sharing more science-backed health insights you won't want to miss. Save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder, and share it with a friend or a brother who might need to hear the truth today. And now I want to hear from you. What's one step you're going to take this week to protect your prostate health? Drop it in the comments below. Let's build a community of men who aren't afraid to talk about this, who take action, and who support each other in living longer, healthier, stronger lives.